and welcome back to my garden. Today we're in my vegetable garden and I'm hiding in the shade of the trees just because I don't have a project to do with you, but I would love to discuss my favorite perennial flowers for my garden. And all those perennials, and actually there's gonna be 7 perennials and 1 shrub, and all of them are united by such qualities as low maintenance, drought tolerant, easy to care, easy to propagate. Each of these plants has a huge variety of colors, bloom structures, grow habits, so they're really versatile, and I really believe that by using only them you can create an absolutely magnificent gardening space. So let's start. And the first flower is actually Salvia. I have in my garden, I believe that more than 10 varieties of salvias. They're of different shapes, different heights, and salvia can be both annual and perennial. And you need to be paying attention what type you are planting. The majority of salvias, they are hardy to zones from 4 to 10. And as I told you, there are so many varieties, so many colors, so many bloom structures. So you can pick one that will fit your garden place, your gardening style and preferences, and your actually climate zone. You don't need to water them too much. Once they get established, they really don't need too much water. They're really productive and they're blooming from spring to autumn. You need to cut them back just once per year. And yes, technically you can deadhead them during the season just to keep them smaller, but what I find in my garden, that actually if I keep them that big, they will push new growth when just the temperatures will drop slightly, because right now we are in a really hot season and moment of the year. So right now all the plants are slightly kind of stunned and they're waiting for this relief, and then they will even increase in their volume and they will give a beautiful blooming season up to very frost. And that's why I love this plant. The next plant is actually Verbena, and again, there are so many varieties of Verbena out there in so many different shapes, colors, growth habits. The majority of Verbenas are hardy to zones 7 up to 11. And if you live in a cold climate, you still can grow Verbena as an annual plant, just because their life cycle is really fast and you don't need to wait years for the plant to get mature and to perform nicely in your garden. This plant, again, doesn't need a lot of water, doesn't need a lot of care, needs to be cut back one time per year. If you want, you can deadhead it during the season, but it's not a must, it's optional. And I really like that. If I feel that I'm overwhelmed with the plant, it's getting too big, or I see that it creates too many seeds so it will spread a lot, then I can deadhead it. If I don't want it, I leave it as a autumn interest, then as winter interest, and just enjoy them. The next plant, and I was actually asking myself, should I include it into this list or not? It's Agapanthus. I love Agapanthuses. I enjoy them so much that right now I'm spreading and planting them all over the place. I don't know how many Agapanthuses I have in this garden. I don't know how many Agapanthuses I have in my cottage garden. I have them in the ground and I have them in pots. The The only negative thing that I can imagine about Agapanthus is actually that they're kind of tender plants and they're hardy to zones 8 up to 11, but still you can plant them in pots. So if you live in a cold climate, then you will want to remove this pot in some kind of protected area. I don't know, maybe in your garage or greenhouse, I don't know what, but it won't survive cold winter. Otherwise, it's just beautiful. And actually, another minus of Agapanthus is actually if you just divide a plant, you want to give one season for the plant to get established before giving blooms. And I believe that Agapanthus gets its like the best shape on the fourth, fifth year of its lifespan. And yeah, you just need to wait for this flower, but it performs so beautifully. It gets so much present, and the structure is just beautiful. The leaves, they're green throughout the season, and while it's blooming only for limited amount of time, like 1 month, when it's sending its beautiful flowers, you can enjoy the foliage like all the season, and that's why I love it so much. The next flower is another my favorite. Actually, this is Gaura. Gaura, again, has many varieties, and you can pick the option that you like. But the structure of the plant. Oh, and it's hardy from zones 5 up to 9. And actually, I live here in the zone 9B, but I believe that Gaura can survive in zone 10 and maybe even higher. I don't see why it wouldn't. But yeah, just the structure. The structure of the plant is whimsical movements. It catches any wind that you can have in the garden and creates this beautiful, really romantical, really magical feel and movement. It attracts so many pollinators that you will always get someone, bees, bumblebees, everyone just around this plant. And it's beautiful. It's absolutely gorgeous. And I really like the way how you can easily propagate it, how it creates this kind of presence. I love it. If you don't have a Gaura in your garden, please get one. It's really beautiful. And next to the roses, when the big rose blooms are covered and just like they're hugged with the flowers and branches of Gaura. It's so beautiful. The next hero in our list, that's a Sedum. And Sedum was a hidden gem for me, and I was looking at them in the gardening centers. I was looking at them online, and I was like, I don't know, it's just not my thing. I don't feel it. And then it was, sorry for the story time, but I believe that it's kind of important. It was a sale, clearance in the gardening center, and I picked up one pot for €1 or something. I brought it into this garden. I planted it, and that's all. It got me just right in my heart. What does Sedum differently from other plants? It creates bulk. It creates presence. It creates lushness, especially in a dry climate, especially in a dry conditions, like right now. All other plants, I actually kind of stress, and you can feel it. They're beautiful, they're blooming, but they're waiting for the best, and you can feel that from them. But Sedum at the same time, it just starts to shine, and it gives this kind of well zest, and it has a lot of forms, shapes, sizes. It can be really creeping low sedum, and it can be rather tall, up to 60-90 centimeters tall. It has different colors of its foliage. It can be almost blue, it can be green, it can be created, it can be like blue and white, blue and yellowish, it can be yellow, it can be chartreuse, it can be Bordeaux, it can be red foliage, it can have like anything that you want. And then in the end of the blooming season and in the end of the summer, it will raise absolutely gorgeous bloom stalks. And usually they are sturdy enough to stay all winter up, and they will provide this absolutely gorgeous interest and for autumn and for winter. When Salvia, for example, will provide absolutely gorgeous color throughout the blooming season, and that would be kind of a constant something that provide this interest. Sedum will do the same thing, but for autumn and for winter, and actually will be absolutely fun thing to look at during the beginning of the season. It's absolutely beautiful. It's easy to propagate. It's really easy because you can cut a clump, or you can take stem cuttings and propagate it in this way. You can even propagate it with leaves. So yeah, definitely plan to go with. The next plant is actually a Russian sage, and Russian sage is hardy to zones 4 to 9, I believe. And Russian sage has a really distinctive look. And okay, there's a lot of varieties out there, but the principle will be just the same. And all of these varieties are looking pretty much the same, and only the size of the plants will be different. But again, the same as Gaura, Russian sage will bring something really magical into your space. It gives this almost transparent feel to your border, and it brings lightness, but it brings structure at the same time. And that's really rare thing when you're looking at the plants. And again, it's really easy to deal with, easy to propagate. Doesn't need a lot of water once established. It doesn't need a lot of fertilizer. And Russian sage brings this, architectural different shape that just breaks your flower bed and brings this interest. So that's the reason why I have it everywhere in my garden, and in this garden and in my cottage garden. Actually, all of these plants I have, and here and there. Guess why? The seventh flower in my list of perennials that are really easy to grow, easy to propagate, easy to take care about is Echinacea. And if you want to have something like yellow Echinacea, pink Echinacea, hot red Echinacea, orange Echinacea, white Echinacea, any color that you want, you will pick this flower. It has absolutely different and fantastical shapes of blooms, and you can pick which one goes better with your garden. Then it has different heights. Some of the Echinaceas are really tall and other ones stay rather short. You can choose again. It's a perennial plant bringing a lot of color at the moment of heat, just like this. When and in my climate, I already had this first flash of blooms when everything was so green and lush and beautiful. And now it's summertime, It's really hot here, it's really dry here. So the things that really survive and give this kind of presence, all of them, and Russian sage, and Gaura, and Salvia, and all of them have really small flowers, a lot of them, but they're really delicate look. And I really like to put something that will bring this wow thing to your flower bed. And I believe that the best thing to do so and easiest way to do so is to bring something with the rather big flowers. And Echinacea does it. Right now, that's the season when Echinacea starts blooming, and it will bloom up to the frost. And you can leave the dead flowers the whole winter long, and it again will bring you winter interest. And it's just beautiful, sturdy plant that you can actually propagate by division of the root ball, or you can grow from seed. And yeah, it's just beautiful, and the amount of the varieties just creates this absolutely endless possibilities for your imagination and creation of the space that will fit you in the best way possible. And the last flower and the last shrub, and I'm not sure if you will believe me, but I hope that you will. No fuss, easy to grow, drought tolerant, really sturdy plant. Yeah, I know, you know, we know, that's a rose. And just because I had absolutely best experience with the roses, especially in this garden. In this garden, I have already planted 11 or 12 roses, and I will be bringing much more. They are really drought tolerant. And when I only just planted roses, and I was reading online that you need to water roses on a daily basis during heat waves, and you need to water them 2-3 times during normal temperatures below 30 degrees Celsius, and that you need to do this and that and all of that with roses. I was really excited to jump into this story, but I was afraid, and I was kind of intimidated by all these things that I was supposed to know to grow roses successfully. But now, more I grow, and I just realize how easy they are and how sturdy they are. And the only thing that is really, really important is that you can lose your rose because of the frost. And another thing that the same as all other plants, the roses actually they don't like a lot of moisture. They don't like their roots to be constantly wet. So you need to have well-drained soil. And if it stays on the drier side, then they will do absolutely fine. When this heat hits our garden, roses continue to bloom. Their blooms become just a little bit smaller. They produce flowers not as quickly as they would be if temperatures would be lower, but they still give this presence, they give their fragrance, they give their structure, they give their sophistication and this presence to the garden. So yeah, I'm a big rose fan and believer in these plants. And another thing that there are a lot of diseases that can hit roses, but I believe from my own experience that planting them separately will create a lot of problems with the roses. But if you put them into a mixed flower bed, then they're gonna be okay. And I don't know exactly how it works, but the roses that are planted into flower beds, they don't have any problems at all. And this is gonna be it for today. Hopefully this list was really useful for you, and maybe you picked up some ideas from my list of the most, reliable and easy growing flowers in my garden, perennial flowers. And yeah, Thank you very much for watching. See you next time. Please like, share, subscribe, and let me know in the comments. Maybe I've missed something, so we will add this list. And yeah, bye. Have a great day.